Today we have two brand new updates from Claude Code. So number one is that you can actually use Claude Code inside desktop, and you see this tweet from Cat Wu here. So you can to do this, you can download Claude Desktop from the website, open the sidebar, click Code toggle, select the folder that you want Claude Code to have access to, and then submit prompts. So for example, if you actually go to Claude Desktop over here, and then you're going to select code like so, you can see that we now run Claude Code directly inside the desktop app, which is great because now you don't need to worry about using it inside terminal. So to get started, we're just going to click on this. This is the preview. So it says, welcome to Claude Code, your agentic coding partner that works directly in your code base, blah, blah, blah. And then you can install the runtime dependencies. And then from there, you can start using this. We'll come back to that in a second once it's finished installing it. Actually, it's done it pretty quickly here. So we can just get straight into this. And then you can see, for example, we can actually take an example project, open up the folder locally, and then you can switch between which server you want to use. So I'm just going to go with this one, and now we can start improving it from here, right? So for example, we could click on recommend areas to improve, and then from here, click on trust workspace, allow access to the document folder, and it will start going off and building this out, right? And you can also see like other examples of using Claude Code locally right here. So that's going to start working its magic, and then you can click allow and allow it to code over here, which is a lot nicer than previous. So, previously, if you're using the terminal and you're not like a very techy person, previously you could set up Claude directly inside here, allow the permissions, etc., and start coding in here. But if you look at the difference in the UI, which one do you want to use? Do you want to use Claude Desktop, or do you want to use Claude Code directly? I would go with Claude Code directly, right? It's much easier inside the desktop than it is inside the terminal, which is great. And then also, whilst waiting for that to load, you can see another update from Boris, who said that Claude Code 2.10 is officially out. Claude update to get it, and here's what they've shipped. So they've added a bunch of features right here. Like you can see, it's available on the new GitHub changes, changelog. And you can see, for example, here, they've added automatic skill reloads, added support for running skills and slash commands, supports for agents, language, etc. Just a bunch of new updates right here, which is pretty awesome. So you can see the changelog, and this is Claude Code 2.10. So let's go inside Claude Code here. You can see it's beginning to test this out. We can also start up a new session whilst we're waiting for that to improve, right? So if we click on new session over here, and then we can open up another folder. Let's see what we got here. So for example, we have this game. We can open that up, and then just say improve the UI on this, plus open it up. And you can also, for example, upload images. You've got a list of slash commands right here as well. And then we can hit run on this as well. All right, and then we've got Claude Code coding out in two different instances, but it's all running locally and it's inside a nice UI, which is great. We can also just go back to the chat whilst waiting for Claude Code to finish off. All right, so it's beginning to update right here, and then from here we're good to go. And then we'll just hit allow once on this. And you can also use this with VS Code or the CLI as well. So if you click on open terminal here, you can actually use the terminal inside Claude Code too. Like you can see, so if we're like, okay, code out a website for SEO, we've got a much nicer UI. If you want to get started with setting up Claude Code, you can see all the instances right here and how to set it up. But obviously inside the terminal, like it's a lot more complex, as you can see. Whereas if you just install it inside Claude Desktop, it's so much easier, right? And I just think the UI just looks 10 times better, as you can see. So we're going to start setting this up, answering the questions that it's recommending. And then it's going to plan and build that out. And then if we go back to the recommend areas to improve our tests, we've got the recommendations from Claude over here. And this is beginning to code out like so. It's like, would you like me to help set up the testing infrastructure? Okay, let's click yes. And now it will start to update the to-do list. Now it says how tell me about your AI avatar process for videos. So if you want to check that out, check out the AI profit boarding. If you go to the classroom here and then you go to the playbooks, you'll see our best trainings on how to use AI avatar videos. So, for example, it walks you through how we create these, standard operating procedure for using them. And then also, if you want to learn how we sync screen shares and add B-roll and stuff like that to our AI avatars, which have another video on how to do it here, plus all the prompts and the SOP inside the instructions. So you can see it's finished out coding the whole update right here. It just looks so much nicer inside the UI. So it gives you a full log of what it's done, all the changes it's made, and what it's done so far, etc. Ticked off the to do so far. And then also you can see here, we keep scrolling down, it's got like the game features and everything else. So if we click on open now, index HTML, so open index HTML, we don't allow that. And now we've got the game ready to go. And there we go. So I think it's just a much more accessible way to use Claude Code with a better UI, everything else. And then go back here. It works perfectly, but it's all hosted locally as well, which is great as well. Let's try something else out now. So I'm going to take one of the other prompts from the AI Success Lab, which has loads of different training on how to use Claude. If you want to get that, link in the comments description. I'm going to say, okay, build a rage clicker game with one giant button. Or what else can we do? Create a one-tap flying bird game. Let's try that. All right, so let's go back to Claude here. We're going to go to code, set up a new folder. So we'll click on open, and then we'll just go with that one. And then we can go from here. There's some people asking like, is anti-gravity or Claude Code better? Honestly, I would say that Claude Code is much better, right? It's just way more powerful than anti-gravity, and there's so much you can do with it. You know, a lot of people don't even use Claude Code for coding; they use it more as an agent, which is pretty cool. But if you do want to use Claude Code inside anti-gravity, this actually makes it a lot more powerful. So what you can do is if you go to terminal inside Google Antigravity like so, and then you click on new terminal here, and then from here you just type in Claude, and it will just open up Claude Code as long as you've already got that installed on your laptop. And then from here you can start using it. So you can say like, okay, make the UI on this project 10 times better, right? And it will basically allow you to speak in plain English to anti-gravity to improve it. And the cool thing about that is as well that you're not going to run out of credits, whereas you can hit the limits pretty quickly inside Claude if you're using the API from Google Antigravity. And then you can see Claude Code is beginning to code out right here. So we can go inside this section, click on yes, do we want to proceed? And then it will start building it out. So the Flappy Bird game has finished now. Let's click on open this. And then allow once. It's even got sound effects on there as well. So we just literally just built this out in one prompt using Claude Code. And that was super easy, wasn't it? So thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, check out the classroom inside the AI Success Lab. This is a free community that connects you with 44,500 people interested in AI. If you actually type in Claude Code at the top right here, I'll actually show you how to set it up completely. And we've got a bunch of video trainings on this, right? So for example, here you can see this video tutorial that compares Gemini versus Claude Code. We also have, for example, how to use Claude Code as a super agent as well. So there's many different ways you can use Claude Code. So, for example, you can actually get it to control your browser and stuff like that. It is becoming increasingly powerful as well. If we actually go over to Claude here, inside Claude.ai, and then you click on Code here, you can also use Claude Code inside the desktop as well. So if you're online and you just go to Claude.ai/code, you can start building like so. And you can just open up a repository and then from there start editing stuff out. So you can see an open of repositories from your GitHub, right? Also, if you haven't already, check out the AI Profit Boardroom. This is an amazing community where we basically show you how to automate your business with AI. And inside here, basically what we do is we help you overcome overwhelm, overcome shiny object syndrome, and show you how to go from complete beginner to expert using AI. So this is just in 5 weeks. And also, you'll get a training on how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. On top of that, a lot of people ask us about how to create our AI avatar videos, so you can see our full process inside the classroom right here. And on top of that, if you want to get more clients, check out our agency course. If you want to automate your SEO, check out this section. And if you want to grow a YouTube channel with AI, we have a full 6-week roadmap here. Plus, we have 4 weekly coaching calls inside the calendar. So you can jump on these live coaching calls, get help, get support whenever you need it. And you can sign up inside the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments and description. So let's recap on some of the questions right here. So Flavin says, what is the big update? The big update is 2 things. Number 1, you can use Claude Code inside the desktop version of Claude. So if you download Claude and then go to the code section, then you can check it out from there. The other one is that Claude Code 2.1 is out. So if you update, there's a bunch of like technical tweaks that they've improved inside Claude Code. Flavin says, if you are using Claude Code in Antigravity, it doesn't use your usage limits from Claude Code plan. I think it would. Yeah, I think it will use your tokens and your usage from Claude Code. So just be careful with that. Flavin says it shows my subscription usage limits on it, but if I use the chat interface, it looks like it's separate. Can we use Claude subscription for Antigravity? Yeah, so you would just open up Claude Code inside the terminal of Antigravity, and then inside Antigravity, you can use your Claude Code subscription inside there. All right. Hopefully that helps. So today I'm going to use and show you how to use Antigravity, which is Google's free IDE, and combine it with the power of Minimax, which is an AI agent and one of the best that's recently come out. And so you can combine the power of both of these tools to code inside Google Antigravity. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. If you download Antigravity, which you can do for free right here, and then you're going to go over to Antigravity like so once you've downloaded it. And then inside your extensions, what you can do is you can download Klein. Right. So if you get Klein as an extension, so you just click on this button right here, then click on Klein, click on install. And then from here, we'll wait for that to install. And once you've got that set up, you'll see Klein pop up in the bottom left like this, right? Now, the cool thing about this is you can actually use Klein and the free APIs it supplies, including Minimax, to help code out your project. And then you can also use Claude Code inside the terminal, and you can use the power of Gemini 3 Flash, Gemini 3 Pro, Sonnet 4.5, and Opus 4.5 Thinking directly inside here. You can also plug in your own API key if you want to use that, but I'm just going to go with the basics. And then from here, we're just going to log into client with our free account. Authorize that, open up Antigravity, open up client, and boom, we're in, right? And you can see here, new in client 3.47, number one, background edits, but number two, Minimax is now free, right? And that's Minimax 2.1. So if we click on try Minimax 2.1, and you can see that you can actually search between a bunch of different models right here. So if you click on the drop down in the bottom right, you can switch between all of these APIs. So for example, like you've got Claude Sonnet, Free Flash, Opus 4.5, GPT 5.2, Gemini 3 Pro, and some of these are free, completely free. So for example, like DevStral, Grok Code, it will show you which ones are free on the right. And then it also shows you which ones you get the best results with. So for example, best right there. So if we click on Minimax over here, and then we're going to open this up, and we can take the existing project that we've got opened up inside Antigravity like this, right? And I'll show you how to code out a new project from scratch in a second. But from here, we can type out a task and what we want to do, right? So if we've got Minimax enabled inside client here, and then you can switch between plan and act, right? So plan obviously is going to create like a to-do list. It's going to plan out the project, the steps that it's going to do, etc. with the agent. And then what you can also do is switch to act over here, right? And so if we switch on act, and then we're going to say, okay, improve the UI inside my project, like so. The cool thing about Minimax is it's a thinking model, plus it's free. So you kind of get like the power of, something that's one of the best APIs out there right now for coding. And it can read the projects inside your folder. So for example, it's checking out the style CSS, the script.js, etc., the index HTML. And then from here, it's going to start analyzing it and figuring out, okay, what can we improve, right? What could we add right here? And you can see it actually says like, okay, I've reviewed the project. It's already a polished typing test with neon aesthetics. So it understands the project and what it's going to look like. But it's like, let me add these in too, right? So for example, animated stat numbers, visual keyboard indicator, enhanced combo counter, right? So we're going to click on save right here. And then it's going to work its magic. And so you can leverage like the power of three or four different powerful APIs for free now, because you've got Minimax over here, you have Gemini, Free Flash, and Pro over here, and you have Sonnet. Plus, if you even want to, you can plug in Claude inside the terminal. But the main thing is, like, you can customize Antigravity a lot more now. And also, the difference between, say, using Visual Studio Code or using Antigravity is you get the free APIs inside here. Plus, you get the browser use agent that's already plugged in to the project, right? So if you actually give it commands, which I'll show you in a minute on how to build new projects, it will create the project, plan it out, and also test it. So let's click on save here. It's going to start editing this. And then you can see all the changes it's making inside JS here. We can also X off the terminal X. We probably don't need Claude Code open right now. Also, if you want some free training on Google Antigravity, how to use it with Claude, how to build and automate almost anything, you can check out our notes inside the AI Success Lab, which is a free community with 44,500 people, right? So this is a free community. I've given it away for free, given away all the training for free as well inside the community and the classroom right here. And you can just check this out, check out all the resources and learn exactly how to use this stuff. So if you're wondering, okay, how do I get started? How are there some videos to teach me the basics from scratch? You can check out all of this training right here completely for free. Link in the comments description. So we're going to hit save like so. The other thing you can do here as well is like you can actually open up the same project inside Claude Desktop, right? So, for example, if you just want to switch or you want to change up the UI, etc., then from here, if you go to the new update inside Claude Code, so you open up the sidebar and you'll see a difference between chat and code. Go to code right here, and then from this section, you're going to click on Open, find the project you want to edit, like this. You can open that up inside Claude Code. And then from here, you can start editing as well directly. The other cool thing you can do with Klein, and you can see this hasn't cost any money so far. So it's literally free to use the API. So it keeps a track of the cost at the top. But also you can, for example, click on use a browser. You can allow MCP servers, edit project files, etc. And then you're good to go on that, right? So you can see it's now made all the UI changes using Minimax inside Google Antigravity. So for example, the sound toggle button, visual keyboard, share button, etc. And then if we click on the link here, we can actually open this up, right? So I'm going to say open index.html. Boom, there we go, right? And so you've got the new functionality inside this typing test. So let's test this out. Right. It just looks a lot nicer. You also got the visualized keyboard right here. You can restart the game whenever you want to. We've created a really nice tool in the space of a few minutes using the combination of Antigravity plus Minimax 2.1. Some people ask, like, are there any coding limits inside Antigravity? So yeah, there are limits. It's hard to know like what the limits are, to be honest. You can go to settings here. I don't know if it's going to show you. I don't think it will, from what I can see. And it depends what plan you're subscribed to as well. But the good thing is, even if you hit the limits now, you can switch over to client and then start coding from there. So you can always switch it up, change up the API. Even if you hit the limits on, for example, like Minimax, well, then you can switch to something else. And you can also change the number of tokens you use when using the thinking model, right? So if you don't want to use the thinking model at all, or you want to just minimize it, you can just scroll it all the way down here, right? Whereas if you want to maximize it out, max it out, then just go to the full 6,000 tokens, like so. And then, for example, you could switch to Grok Code fast if you wanted to as well. So how do you start a new project inside inside Google Antigravity? Well, you can click on open folder over here, just type in a new folder, type out what you want to build. So for example, like this, click open, that will open up a new window. And then the way that I'd recommend using it is you don't start using clients straight away. You would start planning it out with Google Antigravity. Gemini Flash gives you pretty good outputs. Then you can type in what you want. So let's grab a prompt. Like this, for example, we'll build out an invoice generator, type that into this section, hit enter. And then once it's coded out, once it's tested out, etc., if you just want to add the finishing touches to the UI for free, then you can switch over to client. Will asks, do you prefer Anti-Gravity to VS Code? I actually do. I mean, they're pretty much the same, aren't they? They look pretty much the same, but the difference is, of course, like you get the free APIs inside Anti-Gravity, and then also you get the browser use agent as well that's built in to Anti-Gravity. And I think those extra touches just make it easier to use. Also, it's just a lot more user-friendly, I find, than using Visual Studio Code directly. So those are the two main reasons that I prefer it. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to all the free training from today, you can get that inside the AI Success Lab. Link in the comments in the description. There's 44,500 members inside this free community. And if you go to the January 2026 automation section, we actually have a free 2-hour course on exactly how to use anti-gravity. Plus, we have a 30-day plan and a full 4-step framework on how to build with this tool. And you can just copy and implement each of these tasks day by day. You can see the AI agent is now testing out the tool on the right-hand side. So it's actually navigating to that tool we just built, which is pretty cool. And the cool thing I like about as well, anti-gravity, is it has Nano Banana built in, right? Which means it can actually generate images inside the chat as well. So that's a huge advantage that you probably won't find inside VS Code. So there's a lot of cool reasons to use anti-gravity. I mean, when you can combine it with Minimax as well, it's even more powerful and even easier to use. Plus, it's free, so you get a lot more benefits. So thanks so much for watching. And also what I've done is included 100 Google anti-gravity prompts. If you want some prompts, for example, for landing pages, business dashboards, productivity tools, creative content tools, interactive and fun stuff, like it's all inside the AI Success Lab, completely free. And if you want to learn how to implement and use AI to automate your business, then you can check out the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments in the description. If you go to the community here, you'll see all of the notes on, different people posting. It's just a great community that's very active, people sharing and learning from each other. On top of that, you can share your wins, share your goals, and we have a daily accountability group. So you can check in with the daily accountability group and, make sure that you actually ship and build things, which is what we're all about, taking action, right? Also, you can see inside this section, we have a 6-week course, and it takes you from beginner to expert in just 5 weeks. Plus, it teaches you how to build your first AI agent in 5 minutes. If you want to check out how I create AI avatar videos, you can see inside the AI Profit Boardroom how we do this. On top of that, inside the classroom here, you can check out the training we have on NA10, our best templates and workflows, how to get clients for your AI automation agency, how to automate AI SEO, plus our 6-week roadmap on how to automate your YouTube channel with AI. Top of that, we have loads of coaching calls. So you get 4 coaching calls per week where you can jump on a call live with an expert, an AI automation expert, get help, get support, and personalized advice for your business. Plus, you get to meet the community. And if you can't make the coaching calls, no problem. You can actually watch them back inside this section right here. Now, Flavin is also asking for anti-gravity, like how to get it to accept itself, right? So how do I just get it running in the background like this? So the way that you want to do that, right, is you go to your settings, anti-gravity like this, and then you're going to go down to the automation section, right? If you have a look inside the automation section, you'll see, for example, you can click on auto continue, which allows it to just automatically continue with stuff. And then also you can see here that you can, for example, like auto open edited files, or for example, allow terminal commands, or, you can get it to run automatically in the background. The same, for example, for browser. So you can enable browser tools and you can auto allow this browser URL allow list as well. And then you've got the editor as well, where you can just auto allow stuff. So that's basically how we do it. Usually what it will do is inside the chat when you're first using it, it will ask you like, do you want to allow once, or do you want to allow this automatically every time? So you can switch between those and just allow it to automatically accept changes. And that's what I did for this example. So thanks for watching. Appreciate it. See you on the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.